Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And you mentioned submission. It's that word we like to whisper in church.
Yeah.
It's that word we don't
Yeah.
like to talk about. Because that's when, all the women all of a sudden like perk their heads up and get really defensive. Oh, submission, like, excuse me. And I think,
Yeah.
we have like you were saying, it's a very, we kind of get very defensive about it and are like, do we have to do that? But I think our view of it is a little bit skewed because, there's a book I've been reading called Power of a Praying Wife. And it's by
Oh.
Stormy. I think it's by like Stormy O'Martin. But she did a bunch of them. It's like Power of a Praying Husband, Power of Praying Parent. But the Power of Praying Wife one has 30 different prayers, and they're just ways that you can intercede for your husband um, before talking to him about a conversation or whatever it may be. And a lot of them focus on his heart and his decisions, and different things that may keep him from making the right decision. And I think what I'm learning, at least as a fiance and having to navigate, future big life decisions, is when it comes to submission, and I'm a big control freak. Like I like to
Yeah. Oh, me
have my hands
too.
on the steering wheel. Um,
Yeah.
so it's like you need a man who's going to be able to kind of take the forefront and be like, I got this,
Yeah.
which is why you can't be with someone who's passive,
Yep.
because you need
Yep.
someone to say, I got the wheel,
Yeah.
and to be able to relinquish your trust. But submission, in my eyes at least, is you're seeing your husband and he could be heading towards a bad, down a bad path to make a bad decision. But as a Christian and as a woman, you're being obedient to God by trusting him to lead your husband to make the right decision. And even if your
Mm.
husband makes the wrong decision, God will honor your obedience by obeying him and submitting to your husband's leadership. So it's just one of those things, and it's not easy. It's not easy, and
No. Sounds really hard.
as I enter marriage as a control freak, I will definitely be stretched in that area. But there's so much peace in it, and I wish so many more women were able to just let go and to be able to breathe and to really see how God uses their husband to lead their family and their marriage. It's like a weight off your shoulders.
Yeah. Yeah. And I wish we could have these conversations and talk more about this
Yeah.
in so many different settings. I mean, definitely if you're listening,
Absolutely.
make sure you share this. But because like I really don't think like girls aren't being told about submission in this way. They're being Submission is talked about as you just blindly follow your spouse, and I mean, it's so much more than that. And I think what you said was so beautiful. And I wish we could have these conversations. Like these are the things that need to be shared and talked about and spoken about. Like if you're listening, share this with your friends. This should start a conversation if you're dating someone. If you're dating someone and you're in a relationship and you don't feel as it well, back up. If you're married to someone, you don't necessarily I don't I'm on the fence about submitting in a relationship. What do you think about that? Submitting while you're in a relationship.
I would not submit to your boyfriend. I would not.
Yeah.
God calls us to submit to our husbands, but not to your boyfriend. Your boyfriend is not committed to you eternally. And in that way, you don't owe him anything. I would allow him the room to lead and see if he's capable of doing so. But submission, Vodi Bakum, love him. He is so killer. But he
Yes,
talks about
yes.
this a lot. So
Oh,
he
okay.
talks about, he did a whole series, and I think he wrote a book about what he must be in order to marry my daughter. And he talks
Oh,
about
I
what a
didn't know
man
about
must be
this.
in order to marry his daughter.
Yeah.
And he talks about a lot about this, but not for boyfriends, husbands only. Those are wifey privileges.